I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we have a moment of silence? Thank you. Item number 2, public comment.
I've only got one, Ms. Thompson. Huh?
Yeah, so
So you can be heard.
Good evening, Mayor and trustees and residents of Broadview.
Good evening.
My name is Katrina Thompson. I live at 1010 West 18th Street, Unit 2. The purpose of addressing the board tonight is I also sit on our board of directors for the Terrace Garden Commons Association. And we received a letter dated November 8, 2020 from trustee Judy Brown Arena. And I have some concerns about the issue. We all are aware of the ordinance that was passed as it relates to multiple family units for garbage. And the concern that I have is because I talked to the Director of Public Works and there was an ordinance in place and our bill had skyrocketed because we consider a multi-family unit instead of, taxpaying condo unit owners. But I got this letter from trustee Brown Moreno, was in our board packet last week, and it states for us to respond to her by mail at 2841 South 10th Avenue or by email broadviewnews@yahoo.com, or we can reach her at a telephone number 708-945-4942. Mayor Jones, I would like to give the trustees a copy of this letter because the one was copied on it.
I never saw it.
The board, is anybody else on the board aware of that?
I have not seen it.
Okay, is that on village letterhead or something?
Yes.
What?
Please let us see that. Hey.
Wow.
Not sanctioned by the board, I don't know.
Thank you. I've got a copy for William Morrison.
Thank you.
What did it have the stamp date on it? November 14th?
That's the date that we received it in our office. Our property manager is Mr. Property Management. Because we don't meet once a month, we meet every quarter, so we just had a board meeting and this was in our board packet. And it brought concern to me because I've been concerned as it relates to the cost going up with how our garbage is picked up and it's been added on to our water bills, which our water bills have now gone up additional $300. That wasn't budgeted for when that ordinance was passed. But the other concern that I have is how we gonna rectify those that live in multi-family units that are taxpayers. And we control how the garbage is picked up over there, not like an apartment style living where there's no control over that. So I don't know if the ordinance could be revisited, to be modified for the condos or the co-ops that's on the road. But the concern that I bring to you tonight is because we need to address those issues with the board, or do we address it with trustee Brown?
You know what, thank you. Is that all you got, Ms. Thompson? Okay. I'll respond to that in my comments. I have no other subjects for tonight, no other comments. Madam Clerk, let's move on to the next agenda item.
Item
I'll speak to
number 3.
that.
Consideration to approve the following minutes. February 12th, Community Development Block Grant, public hearing, and February 6th, 2012, regular business board meeting.
I have a motion from the board.
I have a motion to table.
I second that.
Okay, it's been properly motioned to table by trustee Abraham and probably seconded by trustee McGreer. Reasoning behind it, trustee
I
Abraham?
didn't receive it. Did you see it?
Mr. Mayor, I didn't receive it, so I wasn't able to review either one of them.
I received it
You received
Did
it?
you receive it on iPad?
Yeah, I mean, how did you?
to my personal account.
Did you get it?
I got it on Sunday because I think it was sent out on Friday, but we can't open up zip files on the iPads.
Right.
So it was resent by the clerk on Sunday.
Okay.
Right.
I think that the problem of mine, Madam Clerk, is it, because nothing came to either my personal or as well as to the iPad. So just so you know, I don't know if it bounced back, if there was an issue with delivery. That
So-
was mine. So I never got it to either,
So you have neither one?
neither address. No, sir.
Okay.
I sent it out, I sent it in the zip folder, and got a response back from two trustees, trustee Highway and trustee Vincent. They couldn't open the zip folder that I sent it in, so I resent it again so you guys can review it.
Yeah, you'd probably have to send them to them in PDF, but you know what, just for these two particular items, please just generate a hard copy, put them in their boxes so that we can get this done in the next board meeting. If there's no further discussion, all in favor of the table?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, these two agenda items, this particular item will be a table.
Item number 4, consideration to approve the expenditures, grand total all funds, $275,562.53.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Probably motion by trustee McGriff, probably second by trustee Abraham to approve the expenditures. May I have a report from finance?
I'll read the warrant list.
You got the warrant list.
Mr. Mayor, some of the larger bills, over $2,500. AT&T, $4,037.26. C&M Pipe Supply Company, $2,616. Cook County Treasurer, $37,617.92. Commonwealth Edison, $4,686.82. Group Industries, Inc., $28,431.87. Edwin Hancock Engineering, $14,915. Geno's Heating and Plumbing, Inc., $25,615. Molders Collision Center, $2,792.24. North American Salt Company, $5,351.90. Northwest Ford and Sterling Truck, $67,079.40. Bank of New York Mellon Trust, $50,000 even. TNT Towing and Recovery, Inc., $6,010 for a subtotal of $249,153.41. Total expenditures are $275,562.53. The vendors over $2,500 were 90% of the total expenditures. That concludes the report.
Do you have any questions or comments about the finances?
Mr. Mayor, nobody brought it to me as a member of the Finance Committee, so no.
Any other questions or comments? Madam Clerk, I'll entertain a roll call, please.
Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Vincent?
Yes.
Trustee Harper?
Yes.
Trustee McGriff?
Yes.
Trustee North and Trustee Brown and me are yes.
And that motion carries.
Item number 5, reports of the village officer, Commissioner David Upshaw, Building Department.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is the building department report for the month of January 2012. There were 36 permits issued. There were 12 Title 13 inspections done, and that deals with the purchase or the sale of property within Broadview, whether it be commercial or residential. We had 27 contractor registrations. There were 4 backflow permits. January is a month that we send out that pretty much all our businesses renew their business licenses. We have over 300 businesses, 350 plus businesses in the village of Broadview. Right now we have less than 30 that were still not registered in the village of Broadview as a legal business. So for the most part, you know, a large percentage have renewed their business license to date. We've had 8 complaints, and they dealt with water service, heat being shut off, as well as garbage overflow. A couple things I wanted to cover that I think are very important as we start the new year off. Number one, there's no solicitation in Broadview. I know everyone knows that, but I just wanted to repeat that because what we're finding is we're starting to get a lot of foot traffic because obviously this winter hasn't been as severe as it normally is. With the deregulation of utilities, we've got different companies that are out trying to market the utility companies, whatever it may, whether it's electric or gas. So just be aware of that. I would appreciate it that if you, number one, call the police first, and then call the building department. That would be greatly appreciated. The next thing I'd like to talk about is very, very important that, again, when you're having work done, I can't repeat this enough, that you get 3 or 4 estimates, 3 as a minimum. In my hand, I have a permit here, and I'm not going to give the address or the name of the person, but I just want you guys to listen to this. Cabinet refacing. Does everybody kind of know what cabinet refacing is?
Yes.
It's not new cabinets. It's cabinet refacing. This lady had 10 cabinets. The cost, $6,724.10. You can get a brand new set of cabinets for about $3,500, top of the line. Again, I can't stress the importance of getting more than one estimate when you're getting some work done. And if you have any concerns or any questions, please don't hesitate to call down to the building department. I felt sorry for this lady. When she came to me, I said $6,000. It's not my money. I think that may be kind of high. Did you get any more estimates? And she said no. And whoever sold her this, they told her it was a fair price. So she didn't venture out to get any other estimates. So she's looking at $6,700 for refacing the cabinets. And I went and saw the cabinets, and they're beautiful. But it could have been done for maybe $2,500 or less. So just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. And lastly, Mayor, Board, I want to talk about political signage. Right now, we're in the midst of some sort of election. And I just wanted to cover some things pertaining to the Village of Broadview Village Ordinance as it relates to political signs. 9-8A-12, number 7. Political signs may be installed no longer than 60 days prior to the election or referendum, and after the election, they need to be removed within 3 days. Number 2, they are to be placed on private property, not municipal owned property or not in the parkway. If a political sign is placed in the parkway or on municipal property, it will be removed. Number 3, there's no limit to the number of signs that are permitted, but the quantity of signs have to be displayed where it's not a hazard to oncoming traffic or to pedestrian traffic. And lastly, in residential districts, the sign shall not exceed 6 feet in surface area, so that's like 2 by 3. And the sign shall not exceed 4 feet from grade. That's the height from the ground. In non-residential districts, the sign shall not exceed 9 square feet in surface area, and it shall not exceed 6 feet in height from the grade. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone is aware of this. We will be out, we have been out, but we have not removed signs. We have been notifying the individuals that live in the Village of Broadview or have been in the Village of Broadview handing out campaign literature to make them aware of the Village of Broadview ordinance. Mr. Mayor, Board, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Upshaw. Any questions from the Board for Commissioner? Madam Clerk?
Our next village officer, Finance Director, Dan Baptist.
Good evening, Mayor Jones,
Good evening.
village trustees, residents, and visitors. All right, financial overview for the month of January, January 2012, our 9th month of this current fiscal year. The month of January, the village collected, as it relates to the general fund, $1,360,000 in revenue. We expended $673,000 in expenditures, so a net surplus of $687,000 for the month of January. January's governmental revenue sources consisted of $28,000 in property taxes, $201,000 in sales taxes, $136,000 in utility and franchise taxes, $121,000 in state income taxes, $86,000 in corporate replacement taxes, and $9,000 in state use taxes. The Department of Revenue collection included $18,000 collected in the building department, permits and inspection activities, $46,000 in police department fines and towing activities, and $56,000 in fire department ambulance and hospital building fees. Other January revenue included, as Commissioner Upshaw just referenced, $135,000 in annual business license, also liquor and vehicle license fees, $10,000 in reimbursement and workers' comp and maintenance activities, and $3,000 or $2,700 to be specific, advertising rental space on the village street benches. Lastly, the primary thing that happened in January that you note under other financing activities, the village recaptured $600,000 in sales taxes that we had allocated to the Broadview Square TIF as part of that ordinance. The village actually submits and commits 50% of all sales taxes that are generated by by stores in that shopping center. And then on an annual basis, our external trustees, which is New York Bank of Mellon, Dunstan County, and if the property tax receipts and our other reserves are sufficient, then it relieves us and we can take the sales taxes back into the general fund. We were able to take the full the $600,000 as we had budgeted, so that's right in line with what we budgeted. At the same time, we also transferred $84,000 from the general fund into the IMRF fund. And as a quick reminder to the trustees who might have forgotten, based on our 2010, it was IMRF audit, that where IMF has required that IMRF and versus our other retirement, meaning Social Security and Medicare funds, can be accumulated within the same fund, but that the levy monies for IMRF, and specifically IMRF, this is the portion for Social Security and Medicare that's in there. In January, as it relates to expenses, employee labor and benefits made up 70% of the spending. The second spending area was contractual services, which included $19,000 in legal settlement fees, $30,000 in legal and professional service invoices, $30,000 as our monthly cost for our general liability insurance, and $31,000 in various repair and maintenance expenses. On a year-to-date basis, January represents the 9th month of our fiscal year that ends April 30th. So that's 9 months in, or 75% completed. And as you can see, both our expenses and our revenues are running slightly below budget on a year-to-date basis, which is a good thing. Actually, it's pretty good. If you look at the revenues, which are at 75%, going down the categories, you got your property taxes, which are at 55% of budget. That's to be given. The tax bills did go out, and hence, it's in the month of February, that's why we have received some. It's been minimal, but I expect all of the spring activity to come in before the fiscal year, and we should be right in line with budget. The other taxes, meaning sales and utility taxes and use taxes, are right in line with our prorated budget at 73%. However, the income taxes are still a little running behind. The state did double what we did get 3 months worth of payments, but there's still $229,000 outstanding in their queue as of Friday that is still coming from state income taxes. And as you know, the local activity generated by our departments are far exceeding budget. on a year-to-date spending basis. Pretty much all of the departments are within line, within the budget. They're either below or very close to. The couple that are, basically we have the same explanation which I gave you last year. And last month, finance, we have a year's worth of debt service in there. So it's not like it's going to continue to accrue at that level. We actually are doing fine, should be fine for our budget. The municipal buildings and grounds is running high due to some unexpected repair and maintenance expenses. Building department had higher legal fees and commodity spending. And the street department had significant maintenance and repair and maintenance expenses that are upward in the budget. So that's pretty much the month of January. Can I answer any questions for you?
I don't know.
Yes,
Board of Trustees?
Hang on. Director, the 229 that's in the queue from the state, how many months does that represent, roughly?
Actually, you had it over there. I want to say it's 6, and it's something hinky because they paid, it's 2 months that's actually, they skipped 2 months. So I don't know if those checks, because these
Those
are
are probably
actual
bigger.
physical checks, they just haven't made it into, into the system. I want to say it's 6 months. I have it over there. You want me to look? You want me to tell you?
You can talk later. We'll talk later. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee McGree. Any other trustees? Abraham?
No, sir.
Benson? Judy Harvard?
No.
Okay, thank you, Madam Director of Finance. Madam Clerk?
Our next village officer, Chief Thomas Gardner, Fire Department.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is the monthly report for the fire department for January of 2012. Over the month of January, we responded to 172 emergency calls. Of our contract services with the 3 hospitals, we responded to 9 fire alarms, 16 ambulance calls at my old hospital for a total of 25 responses to that contract. Hines VA Hospital, we responded with 17 ambulance runs, and J.J. Madden, 1 fire alarm on their contract. Fire Inspector Carson's performed 105 fire inspections. Of those 24 of those were home inspections. He cited 28 violations and gave 7 special inspections. Over January, we completed 120 hours of training on various fire and EMS-related subjects and fire pre-planning. Myself and Deputy Chief Kowalski attended the Mavis Division 20 Training and Safety meeting in Schiller Park. Ship personnel trained on portable extinguishers, operations and maintenance of such. Firefighter Mike Nakaza attended the NIMS 300 course in North Lake. Fire department hosted our first blood drive, as we talked about in the past, on January 28th, which was a big success. We were able to get 35 units of blood donated on that Saturday, which was very good. Speaking of the blood drive, our next one will be May 19th at the fire station from 9 to 3 as well. All ship personnel reviewed SCBA, our breathing air pack emergency procedures. We also hosted the Courage to Be Safe program, which is a National Fallen Firefighters Foundation program on safety, where we invited other area departments to attend, and we had a very good turnout for that as well. Continue working with our probationary firefighter, Brian Baskowski, on his probationary training. I attended various meetings, I won't list them all here, throughout the Division 20 Metro Chiefs. Some meetings with PBS, our billing service that does all our ambulance billing for the department. Chief DeGuerre and myself met with the police dispatchers and had a meeting with them, and are going to conduct some future training with them as well as our officers at the fire department. We met with the 911 committee in regards to fire alarm ordinances. We met with the Broadview Senior Club on a Friday when they met, and went over a couple of programs that we're putting together specifically for the senior group. I attended the task force leaders meeting in Downers Grove for the state rescue team. I also met with Andy Hamilton, who you'll meet here tonight, regarding some grant writing for the village. We collected over $11,999.36 from paramedic billing services for our ambulance service, with a net collection of $11,394.36. We billed out $12,000 for Loyola Hospital, $16,940 for Hines, and $0 for J.J. Madden, for a total of $28,940 for the month of January. We also received $15,750 in collections for services to Loyola Hines and Madden, which you have those attached to your report, the specifics on those. And we also received 9 service cards for services rendered, and all those cards are related to our services, extremely satisfied or highly satisfied. I do want to mention we had a structure fire 2 Saturdays ago as well in the village, from a resident falling out frozen pipes in his house. This is what caused it. So I just want to remind everybody, to be safe. Luckily, we've been through a fairly mild winter, so we haven't had a lot of fires over the course of the winter, is when we're usually the busiest. So just a reminder for everybody, be safe in your practices at home. So that concludes my report.
Please give them some details about how that guy was throwing out his pipes.
Yeah, the gentleman was using a propane torch under his sink to throw out frozen pipes. I guess he's had this problem in his residence for quite a while over the years. Bad insulation, whenever his pipes would freeze up. It was one of the couple real cold days we just had this month. He went under there with a torch, thawed him out, and then it got the insulation burning, which the fire traveled through the kitchen up into the attic. So,
Chief, what street was that on?
that was on 16th Avenue, 2500 block.
Okay.
Just poor judgment on his part, so just tell Brian, everybody be safe in your actions.
Thank you, Chief.
What was the, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
What are you going to be doing with the Broadview Senior Club? It just says that you met with them. Are you
We met at
going to
their-
start some type of program with them?
Yeah, we met with them. What we did was introduce 2 programs that we're working on. One's called the Vial of Life program, where we had a VIAL, like a vial. What that's for is the person will fill out a form, which we have at the fire department, with all their pertinent medical information on it, and then they keep that on the refrigerator. We've got a special packet that put it on. That way, when we respond to their residents, if they're unable to give us the information, or for whatever reason we can't get it, we'll know, there'll be a little sticker on the outside of their door, on the outside of their house, where the paramedics or the firemen, when we come there, will know that they're part of this program. We can go right to the refrigerator and get all the important medical information, what medications they're taking, their medical history, that type of stuff. So it's free of charge. There's no charge for it at all. So that's one of the programs.
And is it somebody that's running this, or is it just your department that's doing it?
Just our department right now that's doing it. They can contact the fire department for more information on it, or to come by and pick up the material that goes with it. The other program we're running, it's a Knox box program, is what we call them. It's a similar program what we do with the businesses now. We have a small black metal box that we have on the outside of all the businesses in town that contains the keys to get into those businesses. We have the master key to get into that box. So if we need to get into that building, we can get into it through our keys to get into this box, which holds the keys. We're introducing the same program for seniors. They can put this box on the outside of their house. We are the only ones that have a key to it. We can go into that box if for some reason we get a call where someone has fallen, where they can't get up, or we need to do a well-being check. We can get into the resident without causing any damage to the residents, breaking down doors, things like that, where now we can't secure the property once we're in it if there's no problem. So that's another program we put together. So information is available at the fire station for those. You can call us or stop by. Blood pressure screenings as well. Free blood pressure screenings anytime during business hours. You're more than welcome to stop by. A lot of the residents partake in that, so just want to remind people that that's available as well.
I have one more question, Chief.
Sure.
How do you spell Knox for the Knox?
KNOX.
Okay, and have you had a lot of response for the Vial of Life yet?
Not yet. Yes, we just put it out there. When we met with the seniors that day, there was a lot of interest there.
Is there anything that we can do to help?
No, just, we're gonna get out and keep spreading the word. They're printing up the forms and stuff like that now, the flyers. So I'll be getting it in the Broadview Bulletin. It's going in the Broadview Bulletin and it's coming out.
Okay.
So we're gonna really start advertising it well. We're gonna meet with the seniors again in the board meeting, so just kind of spreading the word. If you guys could just keep spreading the word throughout town.
Will do.
I
Thank
think
you.
it's a good program. Again, it's no cost to anybody.
Sounds like an excellent program. Thank you.
Chief, I would like to commend your department through Trustee Abraham for coming to meet with our seniors. Trustee Abraham and myself have been going, as much as we can on Fridays, but when I was there last Friday, I talked to a couple of the residents, or seniors as we're calling them, and they were actually happy that, each department is coming out to share information with them. So I would like to commend your department for actually taking the time out to go and give them some information. Hopefully we can keep the ball rolling.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we'll continue for sure. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Gardner.
On time, Judy. Good.
Madam Clerk.
Our next village officer, Chief Louis DeGale, Police Department.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
For the month of January, our statistics that we compare whether we're doing a good job or not doing a good job, we compare last month's stats to this month's stats. We increased our citations, 156 citations were increased, that's parking and traffic. We decreased in arrests, we decreased in 15, so we're going to look at that aspect of it, why. However, we did increase in our fines and fees that were collected. And one of the reasons why that was increased was, as you are or may not be aware, we instituted a truck enforcement initiative which was implemented January 2nd. And where we identified or we hired a part-time officer from River Grove, and he comes in and works 2 or 3 times a week, and all he does is truck enforcement. And for the month of January, he came in with $11,758 worth of fines. Now, are we going to get the entire $11,000? No, because that's goes to court, and there's a formula that the judge looks at and decides whether through a plea agreement, whether he's going to provide the fine that's identified in the formula, or whether he's going to reduce it. 9 out of 10 times we usually reduce it. But the way it works is the local department gets a percentage, the Illinois Department of Transportation gets a percentage, and the county gets a percentage. Usually the percentage between the local and the state is the same, and then the county is smaller. So we'll see where we get from this 11,000, but so far it's been a good program. Again, our monthly statistics for parking citations in the month of January, we had 535 parking citations, and traffic citations, we had 220, which a total of 755. That was an increase from last month, which was 599. Unfortunately, our arrest was down and felony and misdemeanor for the month of January. It was up. We had 10 arrests for felony and misdemeanor. Village ordinance, we had 13 compared to the previous month where we had 30. And the total arrest for this month was, or for the January was 23. So we're going to look at how we could increase the arrest portion. Again, as I indicated, our fines and fines we collected increased. We did identify 42,000, but some other fines are collected after we submitted our report, so it came out to 46,000. This month compared to last month, it was an increase of 11,000 or something. So when we look at and we analyze where is our money coming from, and the higher percentage of administrative tolls, that's 23%, and the truck enforcement is 29%, administrative citations 20%. So it gives us a better overview on the fines that are collected, how, why, and where. For the month of January, there were 50 calls into the police department where we responded. So it's 1,550 calls for the month of January. Percentage of that 34% were crime reports, 17% were suspicious activities, and 24% were actual service calls that we responded to, whether it's a dog complaint or what have you. So those are a lot of calls for 1 month for a small department. We had 9 arrest warrants were served for outside law enforcement agency. We had 1 sex offender resided in Broadview, which was processed, and we fingerprinted 8 individuals for employment reasons. There were 62 cases were assigned to our detective bureau. 23 were cleared upon investigation, with 4 arrests being made, resulting in a 37% solvability ratio. So what we do every month is we look at how our detectives are solving the cases and what their solvability ratio is. And if it's a low ratio, then we have to ask the question, why is it low? And what resources do we need to try to solve these cases, whether you solve them by cleared by arrest, or they were unfounded, or they're still pending. So this is an ongoing process that we're instituting. Our community outreach program that was instituted a month ago, these individuals have collaborated with the Park District to assist in the Community Harmony Project. They've met with the library board to talk about future initiatives. They've met with the Lindop School Superintendent. They've met with the Broadview senior citizens, and they are in the process of organizing quarterly town meetings. So we had one 2 or 3 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, we talked about issues of mutual concerns. In addition to the community outreach program, they also participate or assist the operations division in covering patrol assignments. They're in the process of submitting to me a proposal for a neighborhood watch, as well as a citizens academy. That's all I have.
Thank you, Chief.
Chief, I got to
questions from the
commend you on
board?
this report. This is the kind of report I put together. I love this because you can read it. It's good information. It's easy to follow. I did have one question about the unresolved detective cases. For this month, what happens to that 63% unresolved cases? Does that just go into a pile of cases that you're currently working or continuously working on with the other unresolved months?
Yes, it goes into a pending file, and every month I've kind of instituted a case management review. So that sergeant every month goes back to his book to see what cases are still pending, and he'll ask that officer, the detective, where are you at with this? What's his current status? So every 30, 60, 90 days. Then on the 90th day, the commander of the division will sit down and do an overall case review of all the cases. And so now we have a better understanding on what they're doing, where they're doing, what resources we need. And if it's a case where it's unsolved, it's still open, but it's unsolved. So there is a tracking and accountability portion to it.
Okay.
And we changed the way we did our monthly report, where it's now more user-friendly with a lot of graphs to right. It gives them all the information that they require versus reading and looking for what they're looking for. And it's easier for me too, because I can read it better. So it's easy.
It's nice.
Any other questions from the board?
Yep. While we're saying that the arrests were decreased, I kind of want to say that might be a good thing, because that might mean that there's less crime going on in Broadview, which would be great if we didn't have any arrests, any crimes, any citations, although I know that's not likely in the real world, but I'm kind of on the fence with, saying that it's not a good thing for all the arrests to kind of increase. I also want to commend your department for going out to meet with our senior department. At the same time, I want to commend Trustee Abraham, because she's organizing all of this, and then she'll call me and say, is it okay if I talk to this department? I don't care. But I want to commend you guys for actually going out. I love this community outreach, those 2 officers. I think they're doing a great job. I reported before that Lindop School was happy with the police department coming out. My children weren't so happy because they didn't want to see officers all the time, but my daughter was actually read to by an officer, so I think that program is actually great. It gives them something to look forward, look up, gives them positive role models to look to besides what they have going on in their household. So I would like to commend your department for that as well, and to let you guys know that we're actually looking at you, so keep up the good job.
Thank you, thank you. I do want to add a couple more things that I'd like to add. We have upcoming meetings. I am going to be involved in several meetings regarding the G8 and NATO, that summit that is going to be coming our way in May. What does that mean for Broadview? I don't know. What does that mean for this area? I don't know. But we're going to be prepared just to let the trustees know that we have canceled all days off for those 4 days, and all of our officers will be working. So we want to be prepared. I'm also going to be meeting with our budget director and finance director to talk about our upcoming budget. Meeting with other police departments for future task force operations. We're also going to be meeting with personnel from Roosevelt School to discuss police-school relations. I understand that the relationship's not as the relationship we have with Linda, so we're going to be working on trying to enhance that relationship and start building some programs at Roosevelt School as well. That concludes my report.
Two things. Would you please expound on the GA NATO Summit and what it is? I don't know if everybody out there knows what it is. And then the second thing is in your reports, are you going to be breaking it down to geographical areas within town where you've got the higher crime rates or the higher instance of gang-related activity or drug-related activity and what have you? And that's all I got.
Okay. The second question, we are in the process right now on enhancing our computerized dispatch. And one of the components that they're installing is crime mapping, where that's going to give me time of day, location of all the crimes that occur in Broadview. And so once that's up and running, that's going to be in the report in a grid area with the map, and it's going to show what type of crimes are occurring and where. And one of the reasons we, the fire chief and I, we also ordered and received an iPad. That iPad is going to give me real-time information at my house, wherever I'm at, to know what my officers are doing, what calls they're responding to, and what type of calls they are. So I'll know from where I'm at how to respond when I go with it the following day, or when I sit down with my senior command on what we're going to do. So that answers the grid or that component. Your first question is G8 and NATO. G8, and the reason it's 8, it's I believe the 8 super countries of the world. Those presidents, prime ministers, leaders are coming to Chicago, and they're going to be meeting, discussing world issues. And they're here for 2 days, and 2 days after that, they have the NATO conference. So that's part of the United Nations. So you're going to have all these diplomats, VIPs from all over the world coming to Chicago for 4 days. Well, guess what? In addition to the dignitaries, you have the families. In addition to the families, you're going to have worldwide television crews. So it's just going to be chaotic. What does this all mean? That also brings groups that are going to be demonstrating against government. They're the anarchists, you could say, and everywhere that there's been a G8 NATO conference, there has been problems. There have been a lot of issues. So the law enforcement side of the house is trying to prevent what happened in Toronto, what happened in Philadelphia, and they're meeting, coming up with strategies on how to combat this issue. So that's where the law enforcement side is trying to work together. And there's more to it, but some of that is law enforcement sensitive, so I'm not at liberty to discuss it. But overall, that's what the G8 NATO Summit is all about.
Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you.
Our next village officer, Matthew Ames, MFA Construction, Public Works Department.
Angel's not here, you got
Yeah, he's not here, I'm gonna have a report from Mr. Ames today, so we'll include that in our next report.
Okay. So noted. Item number 6, communications by Solo Laboratories.
I have a letter here from Solar Laboratories, and Solar was here at our last board meeting, and they're here again tonight. Solar has an intent on moving to the village of Broadview. If your representatives are here, you guys stand up in the back there. This is Solar back here, and I'll just briefly read the letter that came from Bill, how do you say your last name? Koke? Huh? Kokum. Bill Kokum. And it says, we appreciate the opportunity to introduce our company. We have been formulating, compounding, filling, packaging, and distributing personal care products since 1927. Solar Laboratories produces under contract shampoos, lotions found on the shelves at Target, Walmart, and similar big box retail stores. Products are produced to FDA guidelines and must pass multiple purity tests prior to release. Solar Laboratories is a CGMP compliant operation. This industry standard reflects current good manufacturing practices. We take pride in producing the highest quality and do not use ingredients that have been tested on animals. We plan to purchase the property commonly known as 2200 West 16th Street, also known as Parks Drive. Broadview provides a central Midwest location convenient to highways and readily available labor. This property comprises approximately 102,000 square feet and allows us to consolidate multiple current buildings, yielding efficiencies. As is typical for a facility of this age, there are some mechanical systems that need to be updated. However, we are not requesting any variances or special considerations. The existing zoning classification is compliant with our business. We outsource freight to various trucking companies. Traffic includes 5 to 10 trucks daily. We employ 22 full-time employees and a production workforce that varies seasonally from 50 to 120. Our hours of operation are 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, and we typically operate a single shift, and we anticipate being operational by the middle of this year. And this is from Bill Kokum from Solo. I welcome you guys, and hopefully everything works out pretty good. I understand you brought some samples for some of the people here, and after the meeting, I guess they can come back there and see you guys. Is that what the plan is back there?
That would be great. Thank
that
you.
would be great? Okay. Well, I welcome you guys here, and I know that most of your products, we've had a long conversation about it, our water-based products. I've actually seen and actually used some of the products. I thought they were great. So if you guys in the crowd want to meet and greet the significant people from Solo, they're here, and at your obviously request, they can show you the products or provide you possibly with samples of the products. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
They have not been approved yet.
Approved for what?
Our business license.
They haven't even gotten the building yet.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you confused us with the we welcome you.
Right.
Yeah, well, they're already in the process of getting it finalized. I mean, it's not final yet, but we expect it's pending. Next item.
Item number 7, unfinished business, we have none. Item number 8, new business. 8A, consideration of an ordinance approving agreement by and between the Village of Broadview and Andrew K. Hamilton with regards to grants for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been probably motion by Trustee McGree and probably second by Trustee Abraham to approve this ordinance for Mr. Andrew K. Hamilton. For the record, Andrew K. Hamilton is actually a firefighter, right? He's a firefighter from what town? Please stand up, Mr. Hamilton. This is Mr. Hamilton. Mr. Hamilton happens to be a personal friend of Chief Gardner, who has been in close contact. You guys tell me if I say something wrong. They've been in close communications as it relates to grants for the fire department, and Andrew is willingly going to assist us and write the grants for the Village of Broadview at a very minimal cost for both the police and fire department. I know that, did you provide the contract to all the trustees? Has everybody seen it? Anybody up here that has not seen it?
We did see it. We had quite a few questions for the attorney, so we were supposed to get a revised red line copy. It didn't come through on mine. I couldn't open the document.
Let me see if I can open it. Maybe not.
Basic changes, just so you know, it was a grant. It was a little unclear in the first version as to whether or not the grant would apply to more than just the SAFER grant, which is the current one we're working on, and had authority from the last meeting to work on to obtain firefighters for the village. We expanded the scope of that to make certain that Mr. Hamilton will be assisting us in all our grant writing for the 1 year period.
Correct. So it's a 1-year contract. He's going to be assisting us in all of our grant writing at the cost of
$1,000.
$1,000 for the entire year, less than $100 a month, assisting us on all the grant writing for everything. Currently, they're working on a grant for firefighters, if I'm not mistaken. Right now, the proposal is to obtain 6 firefighters through a grant for the village of Broadview. And there's certain reasons behind it. We'll talk about that in depth a little later. But that's the gist of him and what the plan is here for this particular agenda item. Do I have any other questions from the board for the grant writer, for the fire chief, either one? Hearing none, I'll entertain a roll call. Ms. Maxine Johnson.
Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Benson?
Yes.
Trustee Harvard?
Yes.
Trustee McGriff?
Yes.
Trustee Morris is absent. Trustee Brown is absent.
And that motion carries.
Item number 8B, consideration of an ordinance appointing to the position of Police Pension Board Trustee for 1-year term for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
I'll entertain a motion to table this item because the individual that should be listed here has been unavailable for up until the time that the information went on to the agenda.
I make a motion to table to the next board.
To the next board meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's probably motion by Trustee McGriff, probably second by Trustee Abraham to table this agenda item to the next board meeting. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries.
Item number 8C, consideration of an ordinance appointing John Ely to the position of Police Pension Board Trustee for 2-year term for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been probably motion by Trustee McGriff and probably second by Trustee Benson to approve the appointment of John Ely to the position of Police Pension Board. Just so that you all know, John Ely is a former village trustee. He's still a very integral part of the community. He attends almost every board meeting that I know of. He also attends the library board meetings, and he's actively engaged. He's got a history of working with the Little League baseball. You tell me if I mentioned something wrong, John, let me know.
Don't tell him I'm a buddy.
Don't tell you that, right, no. But I've known John for a long time, and I'm sure that he's committed to doing the right thing for the village of Broadview, and more importantly, is very fiduciarily responsible. So he's always pulling my coattail about spending stuff. So I think he'll be the perfect fit for the pension board. If anyone has any questions for Ely, he's here, and I'm sure that he's willing to answer any questions that you guys may have of him. So if you have no questions for Trustee Ely, I would entertain, if you're in favor, no questions, first of all in favor?
Aye.
Well, y'all sound real enthusiastic. All opposed? Well, the motion carries. Welcome to the pension board, John. Jesus Christ.
Item number 8B, consideration of a resolution adopting a vow to hire heroes and policy for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been probably motioned by Trustee Abraham, probably second by Trustee Harvard. Has everyone received this information?
Yes.
Does everyone know what it is?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to explain it? You want the attorney to explain it? Mr. Attorney?
Sure, explain it.
Basically, it's a policy that will support any post-9/11 veterans. There's both a state and a federal push to sort of place our veterans at 9/11 for obvious reasons, and this will allow us to expand our search for those and give some additional opportunities, within our village whenever we're having some sort of hiring, inclusive of the firefighters and police officers and so forth to go through this. We're adopting the act. We're one of the
Yeah, the federal government has a history of hiring veterans from foreign wars, veterans of World War I, II, going back in history in the Vietnam War and so on and so forth. And I just think that it's just appropriate that we recognize our current veterans. And so I got with the attorney to adopt this, to create this ordinance to give the veterans some type of preferential consideration when it comes to hiring practices for certain areas in the village of Broadview. And that basically is it in a nutshell. Any questions from the board? None? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Item number 9, application for the authority to expend funds. Total purchase orders are $27,613.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Hargreaves, properly second by trustee Abraham to approve these expenditures. I would, are these all from one department?
All the police departments.
All right, well, trustee Hargreaves, I guess these would be yours to present to the board.
Okay. First purchase order is for 2 iPads and covers, purchasing from Best Buy, which I believe we already made that purchase, so we're just going through the technicalities for the police chief and the deputy chief. Total purchase order, $1,400. The next 3 purchase orders are all from Auto Truck Group. Two for $11,309 to provide and install various equipment on a black 2013 Ford Explorer. There's a whole lot of detail on the different things that should be installed on the Explorer. I will spare you guys the details, but it's to get the the truck that we received from the grant, to get those actually up and running so that they're able to be used by the police department for everything that they need to do to solve crime and help with the rest.
Actually, I think this is for the ones that came from the public-private partnership that we recently purchased, and the fees are to outfit all of the vehicles with striping and lights and radios and what have you. Am I correct, Chief? So we've got some vehicles that are coming due here within about a month to a month and a half, and this is just the ordinance to allow us to go on and at least get the free vehicles that we obtained painted, properly decaled, properly outfitted with lights and radios.
Thus provide and install various equipment.
Yep.
Third purchase order for Auto Truck Group is for $3,595. Same information as the mayor just relayed to you guys.
Yep, that's it. Any questions or comments? Madam Clerk, I'll entertain a roll call.
Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Benson? Yes. Trustee Hargreaves?
Yes.
Trustee McGriff?
Yes.
Trustee Morris and Trustee Brown are absent.
And the motion carries for the expenditures to outfit the new police vehicles.
Item number 10, committee report, building and public property, Trustee Abraham.
Yes, good evening, residents. A few things from the Building Department and Public Property. Again, with the website, obviously our address is www.broadview-hill.gov. So again, if you please get a chance, please take a look at it. It provides quite a bit of information. And under the Building Department, again, as Director Upshaw brought up, anything that needs any work, and I know the months are going to start getting warmer, and people want to start doing repairs. So please check with the Building Department, give them a call. They're there from 8:30 to 4:30, and he has a list, even on the website, of different things that are under permit, as well as what is needed and required by somebody doing work. So again, if you get a chance, check it out. Also, we did receive some information from Illinois, from the state of Illinois, for figures for 2011. Under foreclosure, the rate was 5.4%. The unemployment rate for Illinois was 9.8%, which we were the 7th highest in the country. For home prices, it showed a decline of 29%. For foreclosure, for processing foreclosure, it takes 300 days in the state of Illinois. Also, there was another figure that they had also sent us regarding people not paying, and that's usually 90 days or plus. And we were considered, the state of Illinois was considered the 4th highest for that rate. So there's people that are out there not paying on their current home. So that was some information from the state of Illinois. Locally in the village, with some of the foreclosures, we do have at least about 75 homes that are foreclosed. And however, they are listed for sale now at this time. So they've gone through the process, and now they're listed with realtors, and they're up for sale. Also on that aspect, on the sale of homes, we've had quite a few homes that were sold and the closing and have been closed. So, and the price ranges, so everyone has an idea, the price ranges ranged from closing at $25,000 up to $180,000, so through the home sale. So you can see that range of what houses are going for in the village of Broadview. From our office of the collector, Donna Barbara, she wanted me to announce again that our vehicle stickers will be going on sale as of March 1st. The rates are the same as last year. Also, for the community, we have a community announcement, and that's from our Broadview Food Pantry. They are open on every Wednesday from 11 to 1, and they're located at the Community Presbyterian Church, located at 20th Avenue. So again, the director there is Bob Payne. There is some information you do need to fill out, so please, if you know some family or an older person that's in need, please direct them to that. And again, we'll have flyers out in our little information desk. And you can find some nice things at our information desk. We try to keep it maintained. There's the current water bill rate is out there, as well as how to read the water bill from our office of Donna Barber, which is our collector. That's it for my report tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Abraham.
Our next committee report, Business Committee, Trustee Benson.
Good evening. There were no businesses tonight except for Solo, who wanted to introduce themselves to you all. Just so you know, they have not given me a business license yet. They haven't gotten to that part yet. So when he was saying welcome, that doesn't mean that they are officially here yet to do business. But they are coming, and so we're glad that they are coming. But I do have 4 new businesses that are not ready yet, but they are coming as well. I got to say something, right? The last thing I want to say is I will be trying to start the economic development meetings again, more so geared or based towards trying to get a committee together, a resident committee together to try and maybe think about what we can do for Roosevelt Road, maybe 17th area. I want to gear it specifically so that you can have something to think about. So if you are interested in trying to do that, residents, please do speak with me after the meeting so I can get your name and your information and get this little committee started. That will complete my report.
Thank you, Trustee Benson.
Our next committee report, Fire Police and Civil Service, Trustee Herbert.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to apologize for missing the last board meeting. I had a slight injury. I was on crutches, but I threw those away because they make me move too slow. So, Ms. Yancey, please don't be upset with me, but I couldn't do the crutches any longer. I also have already stated that, thank you to the 2 departments that I sit over as chair for their support of the community. I have an email from our ComEd rep. I was supposed to read this at the last board meeting, but like I said, I wasn't here. But ComEd offers bill payment help to active military personnel. I'll disregard some of it, but it says the CHAMP, which is ComEd helps activated military personnel program, provides bill payment assistance to deployed members of the military and disabled veterans who reside within ComEd's Northern Illinois service territory and demonstrate a need. CHAMP offers a package of benefits including a cash stipend of up to $500 while funds are available, a deferred payment plan, extended payment due dates, exemption from late charges, deposit reduction, and budget payment plans. To enroll in CHAMP or another of ComEd's bill payment assistance programs, customers should call 1-888-806-CARE, which is 2273, or download an application at comed.com/care. So if we know any residents of Broadview that are active military personnel that might need assistance with their ComEd bill, which we know can be extremely high at times, please forward them this information. I will also make sure we print out some of the flyers and put them on the table in the lobby so that we can help with our military personnel to help them with the cost of having a home or having anything in Broadview. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Harger.
Our next committee report, Finance Committee. I'm sorry, our next committee report, Street Sidewalks, Alley, Trustee McGrath.
Mr. Mayor, I have no report tonight.
Thank you, Trustee McGrath.
Our next committee report is the Finance Committee and the Water, Drainage, and Health.
Anyone got anything for finance or water, drainage, and health? No, sir. Nothing from the finance committee, nothing from water, drainage, and health. On you, Madam Clerk.
I have just a couple of things. First, I would like to get the final numbers. Today is the last day for registered to vote. For the village of Broadview, we registered 22 18 to 19-year-olds that turned 18 and 19 to register to vote. Today is the last day. Also, this is the last day of this month before our next board meeting, and I would just like to read a poem in honor of Black History Month. So here it goes. As I grew older, by Langston Hughes. It was a long time ago. I have almost forgotten my dreams, but it was there, then, in front of me, bright like the sun, my dreams. And then the wall rose slowly, between me and my dreams. Rose until it touched the sky. The wall shouted, I am black. I lay down in the shadow. No longer the light of my dreams before me, above me. Only the thick wall, only the shadow. My hand, my dark hand, break through the wall. Find my dream. Help me to shatter this darkness, to smash this night, to break this shadow into 1,000 lights of sun, into 1,000 worldly dreams of sun, by Langston Hughes, in memory of Black History Month. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Jones.
A couple of things. Tonight, Katrina Thompson brought in a letter on village letterhead. I don't know who received the letter, but apparently it went out to multifamily property owners. The first thing is this was not approved by the village board, and it should not have been on village letterhead. So I will be directing the attorney to have a conversation with our village trustee, because all of our names are on it, and none of us knew anything about it, and that's problematic for me. So, and I don't know what the sanctions may or may not be, but I'm certain to have the attorney get to the bottom of that. Secondly, in several of the board meetings prior to this, when it was brought up by the same trustee, some issues about a Verizon bill for one of our former village employees. And let me say this about that. First of all, the village has a contract with Verizon for telephone service, and we have a number of cell phones, and they get assigned to different individuals within the village. It could be the police chief, the fire chief, public works director, or whoever it is. In this case, it was the person that was in charge of HR, and it was Ms. Harrell. And what happens is when that number gets assigned, they attach the name to the number. The number still remains with the village, and the name will stay on the number until such time that Verizon takes the name off. But goes through a normal, typical billing cycle where the billing goes through the 14th or the 15th of the month. You get your bill the following month, your name's still on there. Well, guess what? You still got some more days left in that month where you're going to still get a bill with this name on it, and that will be billed out the following month. For about a period of about 3 months or so, that name will continue to appear on the bill until the person's no longer there. And that's exactly what happened in this case. This individual there's no use on the phone. The phone hasn't been used. And the reason that we keep it is because when we hire somebody else or put somebody else, we'll just assign the phone to them, and we'll notify Verizon of who it belongs to and give them the name. So I just wanted to clear that up so that the public perception of us having someone on our phone system that's not employed by the village is absolutely incorrect. And had the individual making the allegations and claims done a little research, a little history, and talked to someone before, blurting it out, it would have cleared up quite a few things. But moving on to some more positive things. I really love the community outreach program from the police department, and I was out at the seniors with the fire chief and with the police officers when they went out there. I think it's a great program, and my department heads don't know it yet, but we're going to expand the program a little further. And I've gone over to LENDOP and talked to the superintendent at LENDOP. They're prepared to have a actual assembly for the village, for our village department heads to come in and talk to the children and their parents. So each department head will be invited over to LENDOP along with the village attorneys to do an assembly and explain about the workings of public administration, the police, the fire, building department, public works, the whole 9 yards, and how we do a lot of things. I think it'll be a great educational thing, and it'll allow even the parents to get involved and get to meet some of the people that do some of the things for the village of Broadview. Off-site, not in an official meeting like this, but in a more friendly, personal type of atmosphere, and an educational atmosphere on top of that. So my department heads, please start getting prepared to talk to children and parents in the coming weeks. I haven't gotten a response back from them on a date just yet, but I'm sure they'll be providing me with a date. Whether it's the chief, which I would hope that the chiefs are there, and whether it's the finance director or the budget officer, I hope somebody represents finance there. I would fully expect us to all be involved and engaged with the community. We'll see how it works with LENDOP. We'll talk to Roosevelt shortly after that and see if we can go to Roosevelt and do something very similar to that with them. Along with that, with the seniors and the grammar schools, I think that at this point in time, we're making a lot of headway and progress and getting the village back together, everybody talking to each other and working and pulling on the same end of the rope. That's all I have, folks. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
So moved.
Second.
It's been probably motion by trustee McGreer, probably second by trustee Abraham to adjourn tonight's meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The meeting is adjourned.